Hey everyone, so it's been a while since our last video that we've posted, and that was the video of our embryo transfer, the big day. And it's been over a couple weeks now, and you haven't heard anything from us. So, you know, sadly that means that we didn't have a success with that frozen embryo transfer, but we wanted to tell you what happened because it wasn't just a straight negative. So we ended up having a positive pregnancy test at 8 days past transfer. I took a first response and got not a super faint line, but not a super dark line, but it was enough for me to be like, oh my gosh, I'm pregnant, woohoo. You know, I was so excited. I ran and like told my friend who lives down the street, and we devised a little way to surprise him. And so we did that and got it on video with the hopes of putting it on YouTube, but now we're not going to do that anymore. And he was really excited. He had a hard time realizing that just because it wasn't a solid line, that didn't mean it was negative. I was like, there's a line, it's positive, it's positive. He's like, huh? So that was an exciting moment. And then I took a test the next day. I was out of pregnancy test, so I went and got a different kind of test, an EPT with the blue dye.
Those things suck.
And the line was pretty faint. And I was like, okay, is it just a crappy test, or are the lines just getting lighter instead of darker? So I started to get nervous. Like, I was just in my own head about that. But, you know, I was like, you know what? Don't worry about it. There's nothing you can do about it. We went to his company Christmas party that night, and you know, all the people he works with were in the know of what was going on. So they were like, congratulations, congratulations. And I just didn't feel like I was like 100% pregnant at that point. I was just like, thank you, but like, it's early, like, let's just wait and see what happens. And for good reason. So the next day after that, oh no, I think I waited a day because I didn't like how that made me feel taking that test. So I took a day off. I didn't take a test the next day. Then I took one the following day after that. I woke up and he was like out doing something, and I was home alone, and then I just took the test, and it was like even fainter than the one I had taken 2 days before, and I just like knew something was not right. So I called up my friend again. She brought a digital test over, and but I didn't have to like pee yet since I had just taken the other one. So I just waited, and she like looked at my test, and she was like, well, you know, like, don't let your mind give up on your body. Like, there's still a line there. You never know. So I had him come home because I was just like a complete disaster. Like, I just knew something wasn't right. Like, I was a mess. And of course, you know, he's trying to be like super positive, and you just didn't want me to throw in the towel yet. Mm-hmm. And I was just like trying to be like, I really want to stay positive, but this is not looking good at all. Like, it should not be this faint. It should be getting darker. And so my friend left when he got there, and I was just like having a meltdown. And then finally, like, we ended up taking the test, and apparently the HCG was still high enough for me to detect it, or for the test to detect it, because it said pregnant. And we just like had this huge sigh of relief. I was like freaking out and like crying and like thanking God, and you know, we really celebrated that. But you know, in the back of my head, I was still like, I'm not out of the water yet, haven't had my blood test, you know, I don't know what's going on, this is so crazy. But that's all I can do. So I just kind of ran with that, and my blood test was 2 days after that. I didn't take any more tests. I was like, you know what, Amy, like, it's only gonna hurt you just to be negative. So I was like, I'm pregnant, it says I'm pregnant, it says I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant, I'm pregnant. So I just went with that. And then I had my blood test a couple days later, and I got a call back, and they said that it was a low positive and my HCG was 15. And I was just like floored, stunned. I knew that was the end of it, and I told him, and of course, again, he's like, it's not over till it's over. You know, we were researching things online. Oh, we found one person that said, you know, this happened to them. They had a 15, then 2 days later it was like 1,000, and I was like, nope. Like, I appreciate all, you know, you trying to calm me down, make me feel better, but it's over. Like, it's going down. And then I had to take my second blood test 2 days later, and when I did, I didn't even get the number. The doctor was just like, I'm so sorry, it's just a negative result. And I was like, I know. By that point, I had kind of already started, I had already grieved it. I had already come to terms with what was happening. So that day wasn't so bad, but the day that I got the call that it was 15, like, I literally felt like I was in a bad dream. Like, I was like, this cannot happen. Everything went so well to this point. I had 2 PGS, CCS, whatever kind of S tested embryos. Everything just went so according to plan. The embryos were great. There was an 80% chance of success, and like, how am I the 20%? Like, it just wasn't adding up in my mind, because we were so confident going into this, because in my mind, the 20% that didn't work for were probably, you know, like women in their 40s, or who have fibroids, or who have some kind of issue, like not me, who was like young and like had every single thing going for me. I like maximized the success potential that I could, and I was like, no, there's no way I'm in this 20%. There's no way. Like, it took me so long just to like come to terms with the fact that this actually was happening. I felt like I had been transported to a parallel universe. I was like, wake up, like, this is a bad dream. I couldn't even come to terms with this for like 2 days. And then, like I said, by the time I got the actual, like, stop the meds, like, you're not pregnant, I had already kind of come to terms with it. And then I think you pretty much started to grieve at that point, because I think you were just holding on to the hope, and I had already like lost that several days before.
Yeah.
And I mean, of course we were sad that our first attempt like was for nothing and got our hopes up, but what we were most upset about is that we lost our 2 girls. We wanted a girl so badly, and we had just our hopes up so high that it would work, that we were just so crushed that we lost both of them. And yes, we have 2 boys left to try, and that's the good news. And we're really, you know, I'm really excited to try again. I'm scared to get hurt again, but I would love to just be able to have that hope and that excitement again that I had for a few days, and then it just, like, you know, came crashing down. Like, I don't want to feel like a depressed lump on a log anymore. I want to feel like happy and excited, but you know, I'm scared. I'm thinking, if these 2 seemingly perfect embryos didn't stick, then like, why would the next 2? You know, like, it's hard for me to wrap my brain around the fact that like it could happen. But you know, we just prepared ourselves so much for having a girl. It's not that we don't want a boy, it's just that we're mourning the loss of our girls so hard right now that like a boy is like, okay, yeah, we'll take that, but like, of course we will, but that's still not going to bring back our girls. So that was something that's definitely been the hardest thing to deal with. Not that I, you know, wasted a cycle or whatever. It was just that our girls are gone. But, you know, I'm trying to tell him, because, you know, I think he actually even wanted girls more than I did, if that's even possible for a guy. And I just try to tell him that you never know what's going to happen in the future. You know, heaven forbid, like, if these boys don't take, we're going to have to do this again. And then, you know, we could get more girls out of that, and those could stick, or, you know, we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm not going to, you know, try to convince myself that that's it, Amy, you're never going to have a daughter. Like, get that out of your head. I'm like, hopefully we're going to have sons first, and then maybe down the road, maybe we'll have a daughter.
Maybe.
But hopefully we can at least get some babies going here moving forward. So we have our meeting with our doctor after the holidays, because it's the day after Christmas right now, so we don't even get to see him until after New Year's. We have to make an appointment, and then we will decide what our next plan of action is from there. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait to try again. I'm hoping just like one full cycle and then I can start the cycle after that, but I don't know what he's gonna have me do. So anyways, yay for chemical pregnancies. But the good part is that it does show that I can get pregnant. I did, I was. And why those 2 little embryos didn't stick is absolutely the biggest question of my whole entire life, but
They were quitters.
they were quitters. Oh, yeah, so I can get pregnant. That's the good news. As hard as it was to have that excitement and then that letdown, at least I think that's probably better than just having just a full-blown negative. Do you think so?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Anyways, that's our sad update. We really wanted to have a good update, exciting update. We had all these visions of how we were going to tell our family on Christmas, and that didn't happen. So it took us a few days to be like prepared to even make this video. That's why it's taken so long. We just needed to really come to terms with what was going on. So anyways, that's it, and we will make another video when we have some updates on when we will try our Frozen Embryo Transfer number 2. Bye.